What's up, everybody? This is GreyMan here. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody is well, being that the world is the way it is. But we're here on the Sunday Shift Report, and looking forward to seeing everybody in the premiere this afternoon, if I can get out on time. But we have a lot of things to go over, a lot of things in the media, in the news, current events, the whole political realm of things. It's just a lot. So I'm going to try to move through this stuff relatively quick, to not make this video way too long and make YouTube take 3 hours to what's the word I'm looking for, to get it up and running. So hopefully I'll see most of you guys in the premiere. So we're just going to bounce all over the place and just kind of hit a bunch of different topics and go from there. No rhyme to my reason per se. Is just we're gonna run it. One thing I really want to say, because some of you folks may have noticed, is yes, we did hit 10,000 subscribers. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, from my family to yours. Thank you so much for helping me hit this personal goal. There are several other factors out there, like Bjorn, extremely helpful in reaching that goal. Matt over at Magic Prepper, Rudy, and the list goes on. There's a lot of great people that have helped me reach that, but also, I have to give myself a little credit. People always say you don't give yourself enough credit, Grey. You're putting out great content, you're very friendly, and the list goes on with that as well. So it's a culmination of a bunch of things. Support from you, the viewers, support from other content creators, and I guess dedication and the consistency with me creating content for you folks. So again, thank you folks. Thank you so much. That was just a personal goal of mine to hit 10K. Wherever the channel goes from there, it goes from there. And I will be talking about that. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it Tuesday or Thursday, what we're going to do for a 10,000K subscriber giveaway, but we're going to do something fun. You know how I like to do things here on the channel. Alright, so let's get to the news. That's why we're here, right? Let's get to the news and what is going on in the world today. So, I guess we're going to dive into the food thing. And I know people are like, man, I'm tired of hearing this food thing, man. But, things keep on popping up, folks. Things keep on popping up and becoming relevant. So here we are. I don't know how many times I could tell people, especially there's a lot of new folks on the channel, that might be coming across this channel, like, what is this food crisis? What is going on? And they want more information. Maybe they've heard bits and pieces of it. I'm not sure if I told you, I think I might have said on the previous live stream when I was in Walmart and I was videoing one of their freezer food section. It was empty, and there was a lady in the aisle saying, hey, am I missing something? Am I unaware of what's going on? And I literally, if I wasn't with my daughter, I wanted to walk up to this lady and break it down like, hey, this is what's really going on. It's time to take off the blinders and get serious about you and your family. All right, so let's get into to my articles. The first one I'm going to throw up is Alabama school district says it can't feed its students due to the supply chain issues with food vendors. So if you folks in Alabama, this is something to watch out for, but don't think that it's not coming towards you in whatever state you live in. This is worldwide, not just even the U.S., it's worldwide. But it says, how bad are the shortages across the country getting? Well, it says one Alabama school district is literally running out of food. Alexander City schools have started asking parents to feed their children breakfast at home or to send them to school with snacks because the district hasn't received its normal food deliveries from vendors, according to the AL.com. Alexander City Schools, like many schools across the nation, is experiencing supply chain issues with our food vendors, the district wrote on a Facebook post. To kind of add to that, I did find a video that I wanted to show you folks. We've seen maps and diagrams of what's going on over there at the port over there in California. But I did come across this video that I wanted to share with you folks in regards to someone who actually videoed the ships out there. So let me run this little quick video for you to see. This is footage directly from California. I think it's Long Beach per se. But let me go ahead and run this for you guys. So as he zooms up, I mean, look at all those container ships. Look at all of them, man. It's over the horizon. It's hard to see all the way back there, but there are ships lined up way in the back. It's hard to tell the distance, but as you can see, there are ships lined up all over the place, just like the diagram show. But this is kind of a live video of what's going over there in the port, and it's not looking good, folks. It's not looking good at all. But I do have another article to tie up with that one. I just want to make sure I find it. Where was it at? There's actually a couple of things that I want to go to. So people ask me, like, hey Gray, do you see any it getting any better? Is it going to get any better anytime soon? And from my understanding, the rest of this year is done. There's nothing. You're not going to see any alleviation or anything in the rest of this year. That I'm pretty 100% sure about. And now it's hitting mainstream news. That's going to spark panic buying. I have some folks in my Discord have showed me places like Walmart and Target and other places that they're just running dry. There's lines in certain places. Here, I haven't seen that yet. If I do, I will be on boots on the ground videoing it and showing it to you folks. But here's what the Transportation Secretary had to say about the supply chain. And it says the supply chain crisis will continue into next year. The disruptions that are currently snarling supply chains across the globe and the United States will certainly continue into next year, said Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg on Sunday, which is today. Literally stated this today. Last week, some industry groups and companies said that the White House won't be able to alleviate the supply shortages and bottlenecks before Christmas arrives, potentially causing more political damage to the current corn pop that's in the White House amid shortages and spike of inflation. Meanwhile, images of dozens of cargo container ships seen waiting outside two California ports drew headlines as the ships are expected to be stuck there for months before they can unload. So, you know, Corn Pop has told hire more workers, do this, do that, you know, run 24/7 and stuff like that. And we've touched on that. And then again, I just showed you the video in regards to what's going out there with the container ships. So it's not getting any better. We've been talking about this for weeks now, and nothing has changed. It's still getting worse. There's no magic, you know, thing that's going to happen overnight that's going to resolve this issue. So if you haven't got yourself prepared yet, please go out there, get what you can, do what you can, continue to do what you can, you know, continue to do what you're doing. If you see sales on food, grab it. You see, you know, if you have access to freeze-dried foods, grab it. If you know, just stock up, folks. Stock up. As they say, this winter is not looking good, you know, per se. They have a lot of people, you know, have, you know, run videos with the dark winter aspect of things, but beyond that, the fuel shortages and the, you know, gas, and it just hasn't. It's just a compounding effect. People are starting to get very scared, and I understand. Troubling times that we're living in. The other thing I wanted to add to this is we talked about Augustin's Farms a couple times last week, and I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot about it. You saw me that I did purchase a bunch of stuff from the good old Amazon to kind of show you that if there is options out there outside of Augustin's Farm. Then me and Magic kind of went over some stuff. What was it, ReadyWise, saying that, you know, kind of targeting Augustin's Farm, saying they weren't ready. And then now we have another company. And you guys might, I've never had this company, but they're getting involved in the news media as well. I'll throw up the article bar here. It says emergency food suppliers, you know, which means like Augustin's Farms, ReadyWise, you know, and here's My Patriot Supply and a bunch of other ones. There's many of them out there. But it says, like scattered icebergs bearing down on the Titanic is how My Patriot Supply saw the looming global supply chain disruptions, and it said its president, Keith, let me see if I say his name, Bansimer, rather than wait for the eventual collision and proverbial sinking of the company in Salt Lake City, Utah, chose a year ago to be prepared for the material shortages that are hitting now. Bansimer said that with other companies were struggling with, as well as other companies, did I say that right? Said while other companies were struggling with the nationwide truck driver shortage, My Patriot Supply started its own trucking company last year to ensure timely deliveries. And I give them kudos, smart thinking, you know, having your own trucking supply company, having the employees to deliver your products, very intelligent. And it said also that anticipating a huge spike in demand, the company procured essential ingredients ahead of time and quadrupled production capacity with a 500,000 or, you know, 500,000 square foot facility. It says, so now we are in control of our own destiny, Bessemer told Epoch Times. We make it, we store it, we ship it. It's incredibly busy, at least 10 to 12 times busier than a year ago, even with the Charlie Victor craziness. So I can't recommend their food. I've never tried it. I've never had it. Maybe some of you guys have had it. I don't know. Drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you guys, if you guys have ever tried their stuff, if you like it, you don't like it. I'd like to hear from you folks in regards to that kind of stuff. And I think that's it for what I have for the whole supply issues and what's going on with that as it continues to get worse and worse and worse. What do we want to go with next? And there's a couple like random articles that I want to bring up just because it touches on some of the things that I talked about in the past. Remember I was talking to you guys about that robot. I think it was it Thursday night? Did I talk? Yeah, Thursday night I talked about that robot over yonder in another country that's policing. They call it the new sheriff in town. Xavier is the name of the robot. Well, remember I said it's a scary factor once they add firearms to the situation. Well, here in the U.S., they're moving forward with stuff like that. Let me show you. It says U.S. weapons manufacturer shows armed robot dog. It's like we're living in a movie almost, right? Boston Dynamics has so far refused to allow its robot dogs to be used as weapons. The weapons manufacturer Sword, different company, now has developed a similar robot-like dog with a sniper rifle attached. What are they going to use that for, huh? It's for the military. It's going to be for deployment. Possibly. But, you know, wow, that'd be a great deterrent for crowd control, eh? Anyways, the new war machine was shown at the U.S. military exhibition in AUSA in Washington. The armed robot is able to fire precisely within a range of 1,200 meters. The system called SPUR, Special Purpose Unmanned Rifle, is controlled remotely. Don't even need to leave their bunker or wherever they're hunkered down in to use this machine. Stay vigilant, folks, and keep your eyes on the ball. This is where things are headed. These are where things are headed. Now we're going to talk a few other things in regards to weaponry down the road, because I know you guys know the whole Chinese thing that happened over the week or weekend or whatnot. Anyways, another quick article that I want to go over, and it's just puzzling. You guys have heard of the whole agenda. You know, I don't know if we can say it's the guy who created Windows, his foundation. But you know how they want to depopulation theory, and it's not even a theory. It's in play. It's in play. Regardless if I'm wearing a tinfoil hat or not, we see the signs, and this will kind of even back me up here. It says fertility rates hit record low in England and Wales. Total fertility rate of women in England and Wales from 1938 to 2020. So this is a long period of information. It's the average number of live children. You know. And the group of women would bear experience, and it gives you that. And you guys can see this statistics place, and you can check this stuff out for yourself. But check this stuff out for yourself. But it's dropping down to 1.58. So whatever they're doing, and we know some of the things that they are doing, they're finding ways to for the population to get where they want it to get. That whole adage of the Agenda 2030 and whatnot, we're seeing things play out, right? It's like I said before, I forget where I said it at, but, you know, there's only a couple major chess players in the world. And we, the citizens, and the people of all the countries, we are the chess pieces, and they move them around as they see fit. Who's going to win? I guess, evidently, we'll find out eventually. It'll probably come a lot quicker than most people think. Anyways, let's get into the whole Charlie Victor thing, man. That's just another situation. Well, actually, before we get there, let's go ahead and dive into to the whole thing with the whole Chinese thing that was going on, because a lot of people have been asking about that. And then where our military is. I'm going to show you a few things here. Let's just get into it. So it says astounding progress. China tested a hypersonic weapon that flew around the world. Unhindered. And Corn Pops America, a U.S. Army Major General, took to Twitter to complain about the Army's policy on French manicures. Man, that's pressing, you know, French manicures. That's very pressing for someone in the Army to be complaining about the French manicures. It says, at the same time, reports surface that the Chinese are busy launching hypersonic weapons that flies around the world. Major General Joe Clyburn, first world problems are no place for Twitter in the U.S. as the U.S. continues to lose the hypersonic race against China. I need more coffee, folks, but we'll get there. So I decided to look at Twitter to see if I could find this information, and I did. So, where is it at? I have it here. So this is the Major General. her tweet. It says, why the Army thinks a French manicure is an obnoxious color compared to the civilian world, which views it as an understated yet professional look, is beyond me. But I have to be in uniform tomorrow, so here we are. It looked nice while it lasted. So we have a major general. She's worried about her nails because that's what she should be worried about, right? And then, I know, and I gotta laugh, man. I gotta laugh. Where was the other tweet? And then we have this tweet here. And it says, wow, camera lost focus for a second. But anyways, it says, Justin, China tested a nuclear-capable hypersonic gliding vehicle that traveled around the globe through low orbit in space before cruising to the target. U.S. intelligence, listen to what I'm saying here. U.S. intelligence and military officials are stunned. When has our military and intelligence officials been stunned by something that another country does? We're usually decades ahead of the game. Evidently not no more. And here's how you know things are getting worse. You know, let's say, you know, you see with the Chinese and the whole Taiwan thing, we discussed that. But I came across this article on Zero Hedge and I wanted to share here. It says nuclear weapons in Europe. So basically, it's just a quick blurb. It says U.S. deployment of nuclear strike aircraft to the U.K. signals to continental Europe that planning for nuclear war against Russia is accelerating. So with that quick little blurb there, are we headed for another Cold War? Is that where the direction of our country is going? Here's the main issue with that. Our ranks in the military are falling. As you saw that general, what she's concerned about her nails. The Chinese are moving forward with all their products. You want to call them products, their military might. Matter of fact, I think I looked at an article. They built over 160 new missile silos, and nuclear-capable missile silos. Who knows? Who knows why? They have their reasons, I'm assuming. But anyways, lots of intriguing things are transpiring, which just adds to the stress of getting prepared for whatever that you can get prepared for. And some people are like, Gray, how do we get prepared for something as crazy as a nuclear strike? You know, I mean, all you can, I guess, really do is, I mean, get as prepared as you can. Do you live in a state where the strike zones, I mean, there's maps all over the place you can find all over Google and other places that'll show you places that have a higher chance of being struck, you know, targeted per se. But what about our you know, what's the big issue with our military? And that's with a lot of things that are going on, is a lot of the Charlie Victor mandates. Here's one that just popped up just recently. And the Navy. It says, new Navy ordered, and I like how they call it new Navy ordered, the unvictored sailors to be discharged and could face financial penalties. So not only being discharged, they could face financial penalties. Spit it out, Gray. A new U.S. Navy order released this week says all active duty Navy personnel who don't get the Charlie Victor by upcoming deadline will be discharged with possible financial repercussions as well. This order applies to any sailor that is not fully victored against the current health crisis by November 28th and has not received a religious or medical exemption or has an application for an exemption pending. So they can be discharged and fined. That's what I call a financial penalty, is being financial penalty. Gray, spit it out, man. What is wrong with you today? Financial penalty. There we go. Got to slow it down a bit sometimes before I get all tongue-tied. So it's funny that that's going on, because I've heard some folks that the religious exemptions and all these other things that people are trying to do in the military, and I've heard this from people that are currently in the military, specifically the Army. That's where most of my friends are, and a few Air Force folks. They say that that doesn't matter anymore. They don't care about that. And here we go. It says Pentagon facing class action lawsuit over the Victor mandates on military, federal employees, and contractors. Service members from all 5 branches of the military, federal employees, and federal civilian contractors have joined in a class action lawsuit against the DoD. Excuse me. in its Charlie Victor mandates. The 24 plaintiffs face a deadline under federal Charlie Victor mandate to receive a Charlie Victor that violates the sincerely held religious beliefs and having been refused any religious exemptions or accommodations, according to Liberty Counsel and the Christian legal firm that has filed the lawsuit. I'm going to take a hit of this coffee. And yes, that's my wife's coffee mug. So the one article states that the Navy is waiting for these medical, religious exemptions to come through and all this other jazz. But in this lawsuit, it's saying that they've been refused any religious exemption. So here we are with the rhetoric and the back and forth, and who knows what's really going on, unless you're actually currently enlisted and you're dealing with it yourself, which is the folks that I spoke to, and they backed up what this is saying, that they've tried their religious exemptions and stuff like that, and it's not working. Some people say that they're in progress, and other folks say that they've tried and been denied. So as our military becomes, I don't know if you want to call it, as they call it, the woke military, but anyways, that's another story. As you can see, we're losing soldiers, we're losing pilots, we're losing workers, we're losing police officers, we're losing everywhere you think we're losing people, because they want the right to choose. They feel that they were born in America and they have these God-given rights, the freedom to choose what you do with your body, your life, and so on and so forth. And here's something that was troubling that I came across that I wanted to share with you guys. And at the end of this premiere, I'm going to leave you with a, I know some of you guys don't like politics. I understand. I try to keep politics here and there, but sometimes there's a couple governors out there that are trying to do what they can. They're not perfect by far. I don't think anybody in politics is probably not perfect. But at least some of them are doing better than others. And at the end of this video, I'm going to leave you with a speech, which I thought was well said by Governor DeSantis, if you guys don't mind. But on to New York City. Here we go. Hopefully this doesn't spread. But the blue states, if you're living in a blue state or a rhino state, this might be coming your way. It says New York City judge prevents Long Island father from visiting his 3-year-old daughter in Manhattan during a custody dispute unless he gets a Charlie Victor or has a weekly test. The father, who has yet to be identified, must either get the Victor or submit to a weekly Charlie Victor test, according to Judge Matthew Cooper. In-person parental access by defendant is not in the child's best interest, and there are exceptional circumstances that support its suspension, wrote Cooper. The father, in this case, must either present a weekly PCR test or be fully victored up. He must also get a biweekly antigen test within 24 hours of his every other weekend visits. Yeah, man, I messed it up a little bit, but you guys get the gist of it, you know what I mean? So a father is being denied his God-given parental rights to see his daughter during a custody dispute because the parents split up. Like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of the relationship, but that specifically drew my attention, that a father is being denied a visit to his 3-year-old daughter because he doesn't want to either, I guess, give him his medical records or, get Charlie Victored. It's a shame, folks. And the scary fact is that spreads to other families and other situations. And it's one thing is, anything that happens in court sets precedents, and people use that precedence in other court cases and other battles. I don't know what's going on. Speaking of which, in New York, before we leave New York, I want to show you this quick video. There was a protest down in a protest/march down in New York City against the Victor. Yeah, here it is. A lot of folks out there. I said not the best video. A lot of interesting signs. There's your Let's Go Brandon signs. Divided we fall. But they're basically chanting, defund the media. Defund the media. I agree. The media has way too much power this day and age. But I thought that was interesting. There was a nice, pretty large packed protest/march down there for defund the media and stuff like that. That was pretty interesting. Let me see here. What else do I have for you folks? Just looking around to make sure. I do want to talk about a cyber attack that affected a bank and I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything else. I have that. Oh, and while we're on the Charlie Victor, remember, I think during the Trump administration, he had wanted to pass legislation to make prescription medications a lot more affordable, because we as Americans, we pay a lot more for things, and he wanted to pass legislation through Congress to make it so that, let's say, stuff like insulin was a lot cheaper, that we were on the same platform as, let's say, Canada and other countries where these things are a lot cheaper, as well as, let's say, a EpiPen that costs, I don't remember the cost, but I know it's outrageous here versus other countries. Well, I know you guys have probably heard of Merrick. I think it's Merrick. They came out with this whole pill for the Charlie Victor, and they're trying to bring it to market and get FDA approval. But in this article, this kind of shows how our country is treating it in regards to price. It says the United States is set to pay $712 per patient for Merrick's Charlie Victor pill. Merrick is set for this treatment for the Charlie Victor. Anyways, the U.S. government, even as it costs a fraction of that to produce, and is reportedly on track. Hold on. Oh, so I'm not even going to read the article because I'm going to get all. I've already read it a couple times, and they got some really stupid words in this article. But to make it plain and simple, here in America, $712. Over in India, $12. India pays $12 for this. America pays $712 for this. How in the hell does that make sense? But with the current administration, it makes perfect sense. Tax the heck out of everyone, raise prices and everything, create this huge vacuum, and get rid of the middle class. We'll have the elite and the poor. And the government will rule over the poor. I know I went way off on this one, folks, but stuff like this just irks me. And the previous administration tried to resolve this issue, tried to fix it. Basically, regardless if you like the guy or didn't like the guy, whatever the case may be, his policies is what you should have looked at. And a policy like this, we wouldn't be in this situation if people wanted to use this option, or whatever option on any medication they're on, be it heart medication, asthma medication, diabetic medication. It'd be a lot more affordable, especially for folks who can't afford insurance. And the reason it agitates me, and I get a little angry about it, is because I know folks that are struggling to get medications in their lives. Even with insurance, it's ridiculous on how much some of their medications cost. It's like a big chunk of their finances is their medication that they need. Ridiculous. Anyways, off that topic before I get even more agitated. I'm trying to have a good day. This doesn't affect the U.S., but I like to bring it up because it hasn't stopped. We've talked about cyber attacks many times, and this one hit a bank. Let me throw up the article here real quick. It says cyber attack disrupts services at Ecuador's largest bank. So not just some small, little, tiny run-of-the-mill bank, but Ecuador's largest bank. Quito, Ecuador. Customers of Ecuador's largest bank continue to experience service disruptions on Friday following a cyber attack on the institution several days earlier. Long lines formed outside, if I'm going to say this right, Pichincha Bank branches, and thousands of customers took their complaints to social media. People reported being unable to access services offered by the bank's online and mobile app. ATMs worked somewhat regularly, and branches remained open. But if you go to the branch, you're going to be standing in a long line. And as we know, banks only have a finite supply of cash if you're trying to go to the bank because you're worried something's going on. And as you're standing in this line, they may run out of the fiat currency that you're trying to grab. It says in the bank statement, Monday acknowledged that it had identified the cybersecurity incident in our system that has particularly disabled our services. So, test run for bigger and better things. Cyber attackers out there are trying to, let's say, let's hit this country, let's hit that country. Maybe their security is not as good as the U.S. or some other major countries, but it does not. We've been hit in several places. I think it's been over I forget, was it 500 some billion or million? I don't know. There's a number out there floating around that'll tell you how much this year that the U.S. has spent, and companies have spent, not really the U.S., companies have spent on ransomware in regards to cyber attacks. Banks. A lot of people have their 401k, their entire savings, their everything. If they were to lose access to their bank, it would devastate them. Just imagine you have your 401k, you've been working for 25 years, you have all your money in the bank, your retirement fund, something that you plan to retire and live off for the rest of your life, and your bank gets hacked, and let's say they deleted your records, it just disappears. And this goes in hand with, let's say, an EMP or a coronal mass ejection, and the grid system fries. You've now lost everything. Every dollar you have worked for your entire life is gone. This is why I know it goes to the whole adage of, in the Great Depression, where people stuffed their mattresses full of cash. But remember one thing, folks. The U.S. dollar. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the U.S. dollar, because they're printing so much money, it's ridiculous. If you look at the inflation and how much money is being printed and pushed, whenever the stock market is not doing so well, they print more money, shove it into the stock market, make it look like it's good. This is why, folks, like you hear a lot of some of us content creators talk about silver. Silver has value outside of the U.S. and every other country. Silver's been traded since the dawn of time. Silver's on sale. At least that's how I consider it. Silver has been around $22 to $24 an ounce. I don't know what exactly it is right now, but if you have the extra finances and you can, beyond your food and all your other preps, you're trying to, or take some of your money. Someone asked me, like, well, you're taking the money, your cash, and you're buying silver. I'm like, yeah, this is my residual income that I'm saving. This is my savings, and I'm turning all my savings into silver. And they're like, yeah, but what are you going to do with it? I said, well, worst case scenario, if nothing ever happens, I can take that silver and cash it back in for fiat currency if I had to. Or if things went really sideways, I can use it for trade currency or to wealth sustainability, in the aspect of that it's put up, it's stored, it's safe wherever I happen to have it. And after shift and things start getting better, if they ever get better, it'll be either a trade commodity or a way to rebuild civilization in the aspect of using some sort of monetary thing outside of bartering coffee, alcohol, and all the other things that you would trade for. So there is a place in this community, in the prepper community, and it's a financial community, however you look at it, for silver, precious metals in general. That's my perspective and my opinion. Take it as you wish. Other than that, folks, I think I went over the articles I went off, and we are at 32 minutes and change, so I beat my 45. I was hoping this not, because it takes YouTube forever to process this information and get it up for you guys. And what time is it? Kind of give you guys real time. It's 4:28. I'm missing Rudy's live stream because I ran late as usual. I had a lot of things to do in the garden, a lot of errands to run, but you guys don't want me to ramble on about that. And I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything, but that's all I have for you today. I am going to leave you with this video clip from Governor DeSantis on his take on the Charlie Victor mandates and how he feels about it. Other than that, folks, I wish you a good day. God bless. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys on the rebound, which will be tomorrow.
So we're looking at options to be able to fight back against Biden. And then, of course, I just think individual employees should be protected. This is not a time. Just think of Biden. He says, don't make the vaccines divisive. Don't make the vaccines divisive. You are trying to take people's jobs away over this issue. You are trying to plunge people into destitution. You are taking away their livelihoods. Nobody else is doing that. You are the one that's being divisive about this. To say to a police officer who's been working this whole time, or a nurse or a firefighter, that now they lose their job, way before there was any vaccines and we even knew what the heck was going on with you go back to March, April 2020, there's so much unknowns. Those guys had to answer the call. Patient comes in, the nurses are there caring for him. Someone calls 911, the police and the fire, they're there. And they had to put themselves on there. And now you're going to toss them aside? So he is the one that's being divisive on this. We believe people should be able to make their own decisions. Yes, ma'am.